Hey everyone, and welcome back to the TalkUp English podcast. I'm Brian, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Chloe. How you doing today, Chloe?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing great, thank you. So excited to be here and chat with all of our wonderful listeners around the world.
Absolutely. And we are super excited to dive into a topic today that we know is on a lot of your minds, and that's something that everyone faces when they're learning a new language.
That's right. Today we're talking about the most common English mistakes that English learners make. But don't worry, we're not just going to point out the mistakes. We're going to show you how to fix them. Think of us as your friendly guides on this English learning journey.
Exactly. And remember, making mistakes is a totally normal part of learning. It means you're trying, you're practicing, and that's fantastic. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to communicate clearly and confidently.
That's such an important point, Brian. Sometimes learners get shy because they're afraid of making mistakes. But honestly, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The key is to learn from them.
So true. Let's start with a really common one that we hear a lot, especially with our beginner and intermediate students. It's about prepositions. These little words can be tricky, right, Chloe?
Oh, absolutely. Prepositions like in, on, at, for, to, they seem small, but they can change the whole meaning of a sentence. One common mistake is confusing in and on for time.
Can you give us an example?
Sure, a student might say, I will meet you on next Monday. But the correct way to say that is, I will meet you next Monday, or I will meet you on Monday. When we use next or last, we usually don't need on. So it's next Monday, not on next Monday.
Ah, that's a great example. Or another one is with dates. Someone might say, my birthday is in October 25th. But actually, we say, my birthday is on October 25th because it's a specific day.
Yes, think of it like this. For general months or years, use in October, in 2024. But for specific dates, like October 25th, or specific days of the week, like Monday, we use on.
So I was born in July, but I was born on July 15th.
Perfect. And what about places? That's another area where prepositions can be tricky, like in versus at.
Right. A common mistake is saying, I am in the store when you mean you're at the store, perhaps waiting outside or meeting someone there. If you're physically inside the building, then in the store is correct. But if you're talking about the location in a more general sense or a specific point, at the store is often better.
Exactly. Think of at for a specific point or location, and in for being enclosed within something. Like I'm at home versus I'm in the house. You could be at home but sitting in your garden, not necessarily in the house.
Another big one that comes up a lot is with verb tenses, especially the difference between the present simple and the present continuous.
Oh yes, this one causes a lot of confusion. Many languages don't have a direct equivalent to the present continuous, so it's a new concept for many learners.
So let's break it down simply. The present simple is for things that are generally true, habits, or routines.
Right. For example, I drink coffee every morning. That's a habit. Or the sun rises in the east. That's generally true.
And the present continuous, that's for actions happening right now, at this moment, or temporary actions.
Exactly. So if I'm having coffee right now, I would say, I am drinking coffee. Or what are you doing right now? I am listening to the podcast.
A common mistake we hear is, I study English now. But because now tells us it's happening at this moment, it should be, I am studying English now.
Yes, or someone might say, she works in a cafe this week. But if it's just for this week, it's a temporary action. So it should be, she is working in a cafe this week.
Great point. So remember, present simple for habits and general truths, present continuous for actions happening now or temporarily.
Let's move on to some common vocabulary mistakes now. These are words that sound similar or look similar but have different meanings.
My favorite example of this is boring versus bored. Students often confuse these adjectives.
Yes, a student might say, I am boring, but that means you make other people feel bored, which is probably not what you mean.
Hopefully not. What they mean is that they feel boredom. So the correct way to say it is, I am bored.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Adjectives ending in ing describe the thing that causes the feeling. Adjectives ending in ed describe the feeling someone has.
So the movie was boring. The movie caused the feeling of boredom. I was bored during the movie. I felt the boredom.
Perfect. And the same goes for interested and interesting, tired and tiring, excited and exciting.
So the lesson was interesting. The lesson caused the interest. I was interested in the lesson.
That's a really clear way to explain it, Brian. How about another common vocabulary mix-up, Chloe? What about make versus do? These two verbs cause a lot of headaches for learners.
Oh, definitely. They both translate to similar verbs in many languages, so it's a natural point of confusion. The best way to learn these is often through common collocations, which words usually go together.
Exactly. Let's give some simple examples. We often use make when we are creating something or producing a result.
Yes, like to make a cake, to make coffee, to make a decision, to make a noise. You are creating something or producing a result.
And we use do for actions, tasks, or activities that don't necessarily create a physical object.
Right. Like to do homework, to do the dishes, to do exercise, to do your best. You are performing an action. A common mistake is, I need to make my homework, but it should be, I need to do my homework.
Or, can you do a photo of us? When it should be, can you take a photo of us? Ah, wait, that's a different one, but also a good point about collocations.
You're right, good catch. Let's stick with make and do for a moment. So remember, if you're creating something, it's often make. If you're performing an action, it's often do. But really, the best way is to learn the common phrases. We have a great lesson on this on our TalkUp English YouTube channel, by the way.
Okay, let's talk about pronunciation. This can be tricky because English spelling doesn't always match how words are pronounced. One very common error is with the th sound.
Oh, the th sound. It's difficult because it doesn't exist in many languages. Learners often pronounce it like an S, F, or D sound.
Right, so think might sound like sink or think, or this might sound like dis, but it's important to get it right because it can change the meaning. Think and sink are two very different words.
Absolutely. So, for the th sound, you need to put your tongue between your front teeth. Let's try some words together. Repeat after us, listeners.
For the unvoiced th, like in think, the sound comes from air, not your voice box. Try think 3, thinks, truth, bath.
And for the voiced th, like in this, you use your voice. Try this, that, these, those, mother, brother.
Practice this in front of a mirror. See your tongue coming out a little. It takes practice, but it's totally achievable.
Another tricky pronunciation point is with silent letters. English has a lot of them.
It really does. For example, the K in words like know or knife. Many students pronounce the K sound, saying kno or knife, but it's silent.
So it's just no, like no, and knife, like knife.
Another common one is the B in words like thumb or debt. People often say thumb b or debt b, but the B is silent. It's thumb and debt.
And then there's the L in words like walk or talk. It's not walk Or talk, it's walk and talk. The L is silent.
So remember, English spelling can be a bit deceiving. When you learn new words, always try to listen to how they are pronounced, either with an online dictionary or by listening to native speakers. Don't just rely on the spelling.
Let's talk about grammar again, specifically the use of articles. A, an, and the. These tiny words can be a big headache.
Oh, yes, the articles. In many languages, they don't have all three, or they use them differently.
The most common mistake we see is students either forgetting to use an article when one is needed or using the wrong one.
Right. For example, a student might say, I want apple. But it should be, I want an apple, because apple starts with a vowel sound.
Or, I like dogs. No article needed here because you're talking about dogs in general. But, I saw a dog in the park. You saw one specific but not previously mentioned dog. And, did you see the dog that ran past us? Now you're talking about a specific dog that both you and the listener know about.
That's the key difference with the. We use the when both the speaker and the listener know exactly which thing you're talking about. It's definite.
So, I need a new car. Any new car. But, could you please pass me the salt? You know which salt I'm talking about. The one on the table.
It takes a lot of practice and exposure to get these right, but paying attention to whether something is general or specific will help you a lot.
Another area where learners often stumble is with countable and uncountable nouns. This ties into articles sometimes too.
Absolutely. Like information or advice. Many students try to make them plural, saying informations or advices. But these are uncountable nouns in English.
So, you can't say one information or two informations. You'd say some information or a piece of information.
The same for advice. You can't say an advice or three advices. It's some advice or a piece of advice.
Other common uncountable nouns include water, money, furniture, news, happiness, knowledge. You can't count individual units of these without adding a measuring word.
So instead of I need 3 monies, you say I need $3 or I need some money. Instead of I have many furnitures, you say I have a lot of furniture or I have many pieces of furniture.
It's a tricky concept, but remembering which nouns are uncountable will help you avoid these mistakes. When in doubt, it's often safer to use some or a lot of for uncountable nouns.
Let's talk about word order. Sometimes simply putting words in the wrong order can make a sentence sound unnatural or even confusing.
Yes, especially with adverbs of frequency like always, never, sometimes, often. Students often put them at the end of the sentence or in the wrong place.
Right. A common mistake is I play soccer sometimes. While it's understandable, it sounds more natural to say I sometimes play soccer.
For adverbs of frequency, they usually go before the main verb. I always wake up early. But after the verb to be. He is never late.
So I always brush my teeth before the main verb brush, and she is often tired after the verb is.
Another word order issue can be with adjectives. In English, adjectives almost always go before the noun they describe.
Yes, a common mistake is I have a car blue, but it should be I have a blue car, or she bought a dress beautiful. It's she bought a beautiful dress.
So remember, adjective first, then noun. This is a consistent rule in English.
We also hear a lot of confusion with question formation. This is a fundamental part of speaking, so it's important to get it right.
Absolutely. The most common mistake is forgetting the auxiliary verb or putting it in the wrong place.
For example, a student might say, "You like coffee?" But for a proper question, especially in the present simple, you need to do or does. So, do you like coffee?
Or where you live. It should be where do you live?
And for past tense, it's did. So, you went to the store becomes, did you go to the store?
Remember the order. Question word, if any, plus auxiliary verb, plus subject, plus main verb, like where do you live? Or what did she eat?
Practice making questions. It's how you learn to have conversations. Ask your friends questions. Ask us questions in the comments.
Let's quickly touch on some common vocabulary misuse that we often hear.
Okay, one that comes to mind is confusing fun and funny. They're often used incorrectly.
Right. Fun means enjoyable, pleasurable. Funny means something that makes you laugh. So the party was fun, it was enjoyable, but the comedian was funny. He made me laugh.
A common mistake is the movie was very funny, when they mean it was enjoyable, not necessarily humorous. So if you enjoyed it, say it was fun. If it made you laugh, say it was funny.
Another one is listen versus hear.
Good one. Hear is something that happens automatically with your ears. Listen is an active choice to pay attention to it.
So I hear a noise. It just entered your ears. But I am listening to the radio. You are actively paying attention to it.
Yes, that's important. Listen to something, someone.
We've covered a lot of ground today, Chloe, from prepositions and verb tenses to pronunciation and tricky vocabulary.
We certainly have, and remember, the goal here isn't to make you feel bad about your mistakes. It's to give you the tools to understand them and improve.
Think of these mistakes as opportunities to learn. Every time you notice one, it's a chance to make your English even better.
And the best way to fix these mistakes is through practice, practice, practice.
Read English books, watch English movies and TV shows, listen to English podcasts like ours.
Try to speak English every day, even if it's just to yourself. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn.
And for all of you listening, we'd love to hear from you. What are some common English mistakes you used to make, or mistakes that you still find challenging?
Let us know in the comments section below this podcast episode on our YouTube channel, TalkUp English. We love reading your comments and answering your questions.
If you found this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are also learning English.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the TalkUp English channel for more lessons, tips, and fun English practice. We release new content every week.
Thanks so much for joining us today on the TalkUp English podcast. It was a pleasure chatting with you, Chloe.
You too, Brian, and thank you all for listening. Keep practicing, keep learning, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.